Have you ever felt that feeling that you're just kind of lost in the abdomen during an EUS? Believe me, we've all been there. But what if you had a reliable, station-by-station roadmap to follow every single time? Well, that's exactly what we're going to build right here, right now.
Welcome to Gastrovision. My goal today is to help turn what can be a really challenging procedure into a clear, systematic, and honestly, an elegant examination. Let's give you the confidence to find what really matters.
Okay, first things first. Let's talk about our foundational concept, home bases. Before you go anywhere, before you search for anything, you have to find your anchors, the abdominal aorta and the portal vein. Seriously, think of these like the big "you are here" signs on a mall map. Every single systematic search we do starts from one of these two structures. Why? Because they're constant, they're reliable, and they keep you from getting lost.
So here's our game plan for today. It's a journey through 4 very distinct anatomical stations. We're going to start at the celiac hub, then move along the pancreas, navigate the liver's gateway, and finally, we'll dive into the deep retroperitoneum. After all that, we'll talk about how to actually read the signs and interpret what you find.
All right, let's get started. Station 1, the celiac hub. We kick off our whole examination right at the gastroesophageal junction, which is usually about 40 centimeters in. This is our front door, our entry point into the whole abdominal survey.
Okay, so once you're in that neutral position, the first thing you'll see is the left lobe of the liver. Easy enough. From there, it's just a simple 180-degree clockwise turn, and bam, there's your first home base, the aorta. Now just push down a little from the diaphragm and you'll see the celiac artery pop right out. A tiny little extra rotation and the left gastric artery comes into view. You see, these are precise, repeatable moves.
So why are we here? What's the point? We're on the hunt for celiac nodes right around the celiac artery and SMA and also those perigastric nodes. And this right here is where the rubber meets the road. Finding involved nodes in this specific area is a huge deal for staging. It often means you're dealing with advanced esophageal or gastric cancer.
Okay, let's keep moving. Station 2. Now we're going to follow the pancreas, which is basically our main landmark as we travel across the middle of the abdomen.
Right, so from that celiac origin, we just push into the stomach and find the splenoportal confluence. That's just where the splenic vein and the SMV meet up. This is our new pivot point. A clockwise turn lets us follow that splenic vein all the way out to the tail. Then we come back to our pivot point and rotate anti-clockwise, tracing the SMV down towards the head. Just like that. In 2 smooth motions, we've covered the entire gland.
And what's on our checklist here? Well, we're systematically sweeping for any peripancreatic nodes, looking all along the top and bottom borders of the gland. And we pay really close attention to that critical area right around the SMV and portal vein confluence, because that's a key drainage area.
Now, here is a fundamental rule that I drill into every single one of my trainees. How can you tell a lymph node from a small pancreatic tumor? It's actually pretty simple. Lymph nodes are always on the outside, at the periphery of the gland. They are never inside the pancreatic tissue itself. Remembering this one simple rule can prevent some really critical mistakes.
On to Station 3, the liver's gateway. Now this is a vital area, and frankly, it can be a little tricky. We've now pushed past the stomach and into the duodenal bulb to get a good look at all the plumbing going into and out of the liver.
The key maneuver here, the real trick, is to get a stable, long loop position. You just wedge the tip of the scope right at the very top of the bulb. Once you have that stable platform, a simple anti-clockwise turn will fan your ultrasound beam right through the liver hilum. This lets you beautifully examine that bean-shaped structure, the Hepatoduodenal ligament.
And wow, this one tiny anatomical space is just packed with critical information. We're searching for every single one of these: hilar nodes, the cystic node, you'll hear it called Lund's node, nodes along the bile duct, retroperitoneal nodes, even the node of the foramen of Winslow. Each has a name, and each one has a specific clinical implication, which makes this station absolutely crucial.
And finally, we've reached our last stop, the deepest point of our tour, Station 4, the deep retroperitoneum. Here, we're looking for any distant spread of disease along the body's biggest vessels. To get this view, we advance into the second or third part of the duodenum into what we call a short scope position. This basically straightens the endoscope out and lines our transducer up perfectly with the IVC and the aorta. From there, a clockwise turn scans the space next to the aorta, and an anti-clockwise turn scans the space next to the IVC. It's a really elegant and efficient way to cover this deep area.
Our targets down here in this deep station are those para-aortic and paracaval nodes, and also the superior retropancreatico-duodenal nodes that are kind of tucked away. Finding nodes down here, well, that can significantly change a patient's entire diagnosis and treatment plan.
Excellent. We've completed our 4-station survey, but finding something that looks like a node is only half the battle, right? Now we have to actually interrogate it, so let's shift gears from finding to interpreting.
Okay, this breaks it down pretty clearly. We start getting suspicious of malignancy when a node is round, when it's really dark or hypoechoic, has sharp borders, and is bigger than a centimeter. On the other hand, benign or reactive nodes, they're usually oval or bean-shaped, look a lot like the tissue around them, and, this is a big one, they often have that bright, fatty center, the hilum.
But wait, here's the classic trap. You see a small, round, dark structure. Is that a suspicious node? Or are you just looking at a blood vessel cut in cross-section? How can you be 100% sure?
The answer, and this is your essential, non-negotiable tiebreaker, is color Doppler. It's not an optional extra, it's mandatory. A quick flick of a switch tells you everything you need to know. Vessels are going to light up with flow, a lymph node won't. This simple step confirms what you're seeing and prevents a major misdiagnosis.
So, let's boil this entire masterclass down to 4 golden rules. 1. Always get your bearings from a home base. 2. Be systematic, follow the 4-station map every time. 3. Use those EUS criteria to characterize every single node you find. And 4. Confirm it's not a vessel with color Doppler. This is your checklist for a complete and excellent exam.
By mastering this systematic approach, you really do elevate your practice. You go from just looking around to truly seeing. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and be sure to subscribe to GastroVision for more deep dives into advanced endoscopy.